How's it going, folks? Welcome to another fun at-home Abridged table read. Tonight, we are doing the Spider-Verse. That's right, into and across the Spider-Verse in a half hour, maybe. We'll see. Shouldn't take too long, but I am really excited for these. I love these movies, and I'm curious to see how they're going to abridge them down. We have fantastic casts taking part in this one tonight, so let's jump right into introducing ourselves.
Hello, I'm George, and I'll be the action description.
I'm Curtis. I'm going to be playing Shameik more.
I'm Angie, and I'll be Haliee Steinfeld.
I'm Logan. I'm going to be Jake Johnson.
I'm Kevin, and I'll be Oscar Isaac.
Awesome. Well, George, take us away.
All right, Voyage through the Spider-Verses, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse by Craig. Fade in. Exterior, New York City. Chris Pine is swinging around New York as Spider-Chris. Hi, folks, I'm Spider-Man. No, not the Tobey Maguire one, or the Andrew Garfield one, or the Tom Holland one, but the fourth cinematic incarnation of Spider-Man. Even though the first Spider-Man movie is barely 15 years old. But fuck you if you want us to cut it out with the new Spider-Man. We'll do as many new Spider people as we feel like. Yeah. In fact, here's another one right now, assholes. Shameik Moore is walking around New York as pre-Spider Shameik.
Oh, woe is me. I have such a hard life. My preternatural genius got me a free ride at an awesome and prestigious school. My adoring parents gave me bucket loads of support and constantly tell me how amazing I am. Why must I endure this accursed existence?
Don't worry. Your cool uncle, your cool, disreputable uncle, will make everything better. Come on. Let's go graffitiing together.
Thanks, Uncle Mahershala. It's neat that you support me and encourage my gifts and have high hopes for my future. It is the exact behavior that I find suffocating when my parents do it.
They go to an abandoned subway.
This is a place your dad and I used to hang out when we were your age. And it absolutely isn't like 40 feet away from a location where I happen to be aware of dangerous experiments being performed by ruthless criminals. I'd never bring my teenage nephew someplace like that.
What a great place for my artwork. Here in this deserted, fenced-off underground hovel where nobody will ever see it.
Shameik makes an elaborate graffito. But while he's at it, the traditional radioactive spider appears, then bites a creature a million times its size for no reason at all, because being irradiated apparently makes spiders stupid as fuck.
Ouch! So after all this time, have we figured out a better way of writing this scene? No? Still just gonna have a science genius disregard a spider bite? Huh. Oh well.
He goes home and passes out. When he wakes up, he has spider powers.
Sticky hands powers going berserk. Accidentally sticking to my crush Hailee Steinfeld. Oh no! And now I'm accidentally sticking to a wall outside where anybody could see me, except magically nobody notices except Hailee.
Maybe I should tell Shameik that I know exactly what's happening to him and try to help him out before he does any more mischief to himself or others. Nah, I figure the panicking, screaming, half-naked guy has this under control.
Shameik hurries back to the subway to check out the dead spider. But when he gets there, he senses some kind of nearby disturbance. And upon tracing it, he finds a giant underground lab where Spider-Chris is fighting the Green Goblin.
The green fucking what now? That thing's a 50-foot winged demon. Bullshit is the Green Goblin.
Yeah, well, this movie just has an adolescent tendency to jazz up classic Spider-Man villains, which is why the first cinematic incarnation of Scorpion has robot legs, and why our Kingpin is about the size and shape of a Sherman tank. That's me. Seriously, I don't know if I'm even supposed to be a human being right now. Spider-Chris fights to try and jam a USB stick into an access panel, which has been installed in a random, completely unreachable part of the ceiling for some reason. But then Goblin grabs him in his massive talons and rips his head clean from his body and wins forever. Shoves him into the energy beam in the middle of the room, which causes it to explode. God, I don't feel so good, Mr. Moore.
But hey, you won, right? The lab is totally destroyed. The evil experiment is over.
No, this isn't over. While crashing Liev's software would have made him permanently give up, Reducing his facilities to rubble will only set him back about a week. Take the USB stick and get it to, do we have any Avengers in this continuity?
Unclear.
Damn. You'll have to do then. Real piece of luck that I happen to have acquired a whole spare Spider-Man to entrust this to at this exact point of time.
Yes, except, well, if you hadn't stopped to chat with me for a full minute in the middle of your battle, do you think maybe that would have made a difference between you living and dying?
Oh, almost definitely. So yeah, thanks a lot, asshole. Dies.
Man, 2018 has not been a good year for Peter Parker.
Exterior graveyard. Days later, Shameik visits Chris's grave.
So not all of New York is mourning you because when your corpse showed up, people took it for granted that was really dead Spider-Man, not just some loser who would like to wear Spider-Man jammies under his clothes.
But then who should show up at the grave but Spider-Man?
Oh, for crying out loud. Marvel, I know you're bad at keeping characters dead, but this is fast even for you.
Actually, I'm another new Spider-Man. I'm Peter Parker from an alternate universe where it's 10 years later and I've become a sad divorced loser, and where I have a completely different voice for some reason.
His reality beam must have sampled Spider-Chris's DNA and zapped you here. You should spider train me so we could go fulfill my mission to stop Liev from destroying the multiverse.
Or I could just go do it myself instead of bringing along a clumsy noob who has no web shooters and has barely figured out how to stick to a wall and would almost definitely just fuck things up.
I promise, which is way more important than whether or not all reality disintegrates into nothingness.
Fine. I guess all we have to do is stick a USB stick into a thing anyway. You surely can't be incompetent enough to screw that up.
I actually may have already smashed a USB stick while falling off a building like a putz.
Wow, I gave you entirely too much credit.
Exterior Liev's lab. Spider-Shameik and Spider-Jake break into a lab owned by Liev on a mission to replace their USB stick. They find Liev arguing with head science lady Kathryn Hahn.
Sir, the magic beam you've built to bring your dead family back from an alternate reality is unstable. I need a few more days to get it operational, otherwise it won't work. Everybody will die, and you will get nothing you want, and it will be terrible on every possible level.
A sharp businessman such as myself doesn't let such petty things as guaranteed failure and death briefly delay him. Do it anyway. He leaves. Spider-Shameik and Spider-Jake try to steal Kathryn's computer, but she catches them and starts attacking them with mechanical arms, which look disturbingly like giant sex toys.
That's right, you guys. I'm actually this universe's Dr. Octopus. I was born female in this world, but somehow my life is otherwise so unaltered that I still become a supervillain with robot tentacles.
We need to get out of here, but I haven't learned how to swing. Save me, Spider-Jake. How do I shoot webs?
Here, I'll show you, which will require me to give you one of my web shooters, so we'll only have one each, and it'll be kind of fucked over. Wait, why did I bring you again?
They are indeed doing pretty badly against Doc Cat, but then who should show up to save them but Spider-Hailee?
That's right. I also am an alternate reality spider person. I'm from a universe where Gwen Stacy is the one who got bitten by the spider and wound up designing a crime-fighting costume almost identical to the one Peter Parker would have thought up. I guess inventing faceless, angry-eye web pattern costumes is one of the lesser spider powers.
Hey, the reality beam retrieves people based on their DNA. You and Parker don't have the same DNA, do you?
Yeah, you're gonna have to ignore that DNA thing really hard if you want to get through what's coming.
Okay, but I met you before the reality beam even went off. How did you get here before the universes got smushed together?
Oh, the reality beam also sent me 2 weeks back in time? Sure, that makes the story functional. Then I knew to go infiltrate your school because my spider senses told me to, which is not how spider sense works at all.
You're told by semi-psychic instinct that you must go to my school, but when you got there and met a whole other spider person, you didn't think you were supposed to even talk to me or anything?
Guess I must have decided to stalk you instead. Otherwise, there's no explanation as to how I even knew to come here.
Okay, well, look, we have the computer now. Let's take it to Aunt May. Maybe horribly traumatic for her to suddenly be confronted with her nephew back from the dead, but without her help, however, would us three science geniuses put a computer file on a USB stick?
Exterior suburban house. Shameik, Jake, and Haliee go to see this universe's Aunt May, who this time is played by a toddler on fire, Lily Tomlin.
You've come to the right place. Come on. I'll show you the super high-tech Batcave Chris and I built.
A big part of Peter Parker's whole deal that he's perpetually broke.
Look, this movie suddenly decided that Aunt May is some kind of gadgeteer genius. Clearly, we don't give a hot fuck about this lore.
They head down into the spider cave.
And look, we're checking a bunch of more spider people, all in a clump because we're starting to get pressed for time.
She points out black and white Nicolas Cage, anime schoolgirl Kimiko Glenn, and Looney Tunes pig John Mulaney, who are all hiding on the ceiling for no apparent reason.
I'm a Nazi hunting Spider-Man from 1930, a simpler time when hating Nazis was something that Americans could actually agree on.
I'm a teenage girl from the future Japan who pilots a mech, which goes to show that we're stretching the definition of Spider-Man really fucking thin.
And I'm a cartoon pig who gets barely characterized and doesn't really do anything. Just like Nick and Kimiko, really. We're just here to pad out the numbers and provide a handful of gags each. Oh, and to destroy any sense of reality or logic this movie ever had.
So here's the plan. We go and put the USB drive into Liev's reality beam. We then tune the beam into each of our respective alternate realities so we can go home.
That sounds like a very complex operation that rightfully we wouldn't know how to do.
Yeah, but instead we'll be able to do it by like just typing in what reality we want or something. Anyway, look, then when we're all gone, Shameik will press the one big button that makes the reality beam shut down forever.
But Shameik is a total amateur. I honestly don't think he can be trusted with the task of pressing a single button.
Yes, let's all harass Shameik about this.
Good could come of having a whole other superhero in this fight.
My words to that effect. We're all just glad for any excuse to have more lines.
Okay, well, fuck you guys too.
He runs away. Interior Mahershala's apartment. Shameik retreats to Mahershala's apartment, but literally seconds after he arrives, one of Liev's supervillain henchmen climbs in the window. Then he takes off his mask, and it's Mahershala.
Oh shit! My beloved uncle, who earlier was implied to be some kind of low-level hood, is instead a costume supervillain with martial arts skills and robot claws. It seems like something that would take a lot of explaining to justify, but fuck you, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Intruder, must kill.
Oh fuck! Must frantically scramble over to fear for my life, rather than just identify myself and have Mahershala instantly stop trying to kill me.
He flees back to Lily's house, but Mahershala has tracked him and now arrives with Kathryn and Scorpion and Tombstone, and they all attack Spider-Shameik and Spider-Jake and Spider-Hailee and Spider-Nic and Spider-Kimiko and Spider-John.
So I guess the MCU isn't the only one who likes doing these huge pile-on clusterfuck fights. How can this many people even move around comfortably in a regular suburban living room?
Hey, you're just lucky that for whatever reason we didn't bring Green Goblin with us and instantly curb stomp the lot of you.
Spider-Shameik grabs the USB stick and runs for it, but then Mahershala pursues him to a rooftop and catches him. So finally he does grow a brain and reveals his face.
Oh, fuck. It's my nephew. I guess I won't murder a terrified, fleeing teenager after all. So, is this movie ever going to confront the fact that I'm obviously a terrible, terrible person?
I need Shameik dead, but Mahershala isn't killing him for me. So I'll whip out my gun and shoot Mahershala, apparently, instead of my actual target. He shoots Mahershala. Shameik drags Mahershala into an alley where he dies. And to make things worse, his cop dad, Brian Tyree Henry, stumbles in with sitcom timing and gets the wrong idea. Oh, God, no. My brother was killed by being shot from a distance, and the new Spider-Man was near him afterwards, which obviously means Spider-Man killed him. Curse you, Spider-Man! Except I'm going to realize he's innocent just a couple of scenes from now anyway, so what the fuck was the point of this? Interior Shameik's dorm room. Shameik is angsting back at his dorm when Jake, Hailee, and the miscellaneous others show up.
Sorry about your uncle, Shameik. If it makes you feel any better, we've all decided you're too much of a useless fuck up to bring to the climax, so we're gonna tie you up and abandon you now.
Come on, give me a chance. I'm sure I'll get the hang of my weird extraneous invisibility and let your hands powers any minute now.
Sorry, buddy. You're just not in our league. I mean, when we swing away from here, there's gonna be a shot where we clearly web off the goddamn sky. Do you have any idea how much practice that takes?
They take the USB stick and web Shameik up and leave.
Damn it. I guess they have a point, though. I can't really expect to get proficient in my powers without a lot of time and experimentation and training and
what if instead you heard one inspirational speech?
suddenly I am an expert at everything ever.
He returns to the spider cave where Lily is waiting for him with some web shooters.
Awesome. Now the others will be starting to climax right about now. I better get there as fast as possible. Right after I waste a quick half hour coloring in my costume.
He fancies up his outfit and then swings over to the climax, somehow not passing out from the fumes coming from his mask covered in still wet spray paint. Interior Liev's miraculously unexploded experiment room. Liev and Kathryn turn the repaired reality beam on.
Welcome. I can't wait to do this incredibly dangerous thing with that which might rip all of reality apart.
Aren't you the one who said this entire experiment was a bad idea?
Yeah, but that was before my big reveal. Now that the audience knows I'm evil, my responsible character trait has vanished in a puff of smoke.
Then Spider-Jake, Spider-Hailee, Spider-Nic, Spider-Kimiko, and Spider-John break in. Gah! I'll crush that Spider-Man, and then that other Spider-Man, and all the Spider-Men, till I'm the Spider-Man! He sends in his ever-present collection of goons. The Spider-Force fight Kathryn and Scorpion and Tombstone, while the reality beam starts spitting out chunks of other universes.
Oh, wow. Just look at all these random objects floating around in this vast space with fluctuating gravity. Do you know what this means?
Did the animators have come up with a way to throw out setting, spatial logic, and physics and can just do whatever incoherent action beats they feel like in almost any order?
Exactly. The Doctor Strange gambit.
The fight predictably starts to go against our heroes, until Spider-Shameik predictably shows up in the nick of time, and then they all start predictably winning.
All right, we got USB stick in place. Now let's send you guys back home. Hopefully the multiverse won't self-destruct in the time it takes for everybody to have a tearful farewell.
Let's hope this parting is emotional.
He goes through the beam.
Even though we're seriously giving the audience no reason.
Goes through beam.
To give a flying fuck about us!
Goes through beam. Then Hailee and Jake also leave. Shameik goes to press the button that permanently stops the beam when Liev bursts in to fight him. Not so fast, Shameik. It's time for the big climactic fight. A clumsy teenager versus an overweight businessman.
Look, dude, I have superhuman strength and reflexes, so realistically, there's no way of...
His ass gets kicked every color of the rainbow. And now I'll deliver the final blow. A massive ground pound, which early in the movie straight up killed a guy. He slams Shameik.
Aha! But the strategy that he didn't think of was to just be inexplicably unharmed.
Spider-Shameik throws Liev at the button, and then the beam is destroyed and the room's physics turns back to normal, at which point you'd think Liev would plummet from the ceiling to the floor 100 feet below and instantly die, but the scene cuts away, so he's fine somehow.
So that's our story. And the moral is to have faith in yourself because the power to be Spider-Man is in all of us. That's right, kids. Anybody could be Spider-Man. Oh, wait. The only people in this movie who were Spider-Man were the ones who got superhuman powers from a radioactive spider bite. So, yeah, I guess unless it happens to you, absolutely can't be Spider-Man. Sorry to get your hopes up.
And fade in. Exterior, a universe. The Hailee Steinfeld one. Don't ask me what number, like anybody can keep them straight. Hailee Steinfeld is Spider-Hailee, and she is miserable.
Hey everybody, we kind of skimmed over my backstory last time, so let's go into it in a bit more detail.
Ah, why Haliee has superpowers and not me? Must make monster serum. He becomes a lizard, squashed in spider fight. So, in addition to dead Peter Parker and comically washed up Peter Parker, this franchise now also has fragile ego, reckless dipshit, mutant freak Peter Parker, who is also dead. We seem to have a bit of a grudge against Peter Parkers around here. He dies.
Yeah. Yes. Haley's police captain dad, just saw Spider-Hailee near Peter Parker's corpse, so I assume she killed him, not the giant lizard monster that 500 witnesses saw.
Rant, menace, rant, pictures of Spider-Man. That's right, folks. I have a fucking monopoly on this role. Although it's kind of inevitable that they'd rope me in after the first movie had Hailee Hawkeye Steinfeld and Nicholas Ghost Rider Cage and Liev Sabretooth Schreiber and Kathryn Agatha Harkness Hahn and Brian Tyree Fastos Henry and Mahershala Cottonmouth and maybe Blade someday if that movie ever gets its ass in gear, Haliee, and late cartoon Black Widow and Science Lady from Wakanda Forever Belle and Oscar Apocalypse and Moon Knight Isaac and Stan all of the Stanleys Lee. We do seem to want all of the Marvel actors up in this joint.
You're not kidding.
So yeah, all that happened and I was super depressed. But then I met Shameik more and learned the power of friendship. But then I came home and learned the power of no friendship other than with Shameik more. So we're back to miserable.
He is alerted to an attack at a museum and goes there to find Renaissance Vulture, who is a pencil sketch drawn on parchment.
Oh wait, is this like a Renaissance Spider-Man I didn't know about? Hang on.
She checks the Marvel wiki.
I'm seeing Marvel 1602, but that didn't seem to have this whole Da Vinci blueprint aesthetic. As far as I can tell, Vulture didn't show up.
Look, we're doing every inch of Spider-Man lore from across every medium from its entire 60-year run. Just throw your hands up in surrender and assume it's all real somewhere. Yes, including the T-Rex.
There's also me, an edgy and brooding vampire Spider-Man from the future who has spikes on his arms, and whose webs are lasers. Apparently, I'm a character from the actual comics, not a doodle in the margins of a middle schooler's algebra textbook.
And this is me portaling in on a motorcycle. I'm a pregnant black Spider woman who will probably make the chodes who still can't get on board with regular black Spider-Man have a collective aneurysm. There ensues an action sequence that happens with such speed and density and variety of animation styles that it's basically impossible for the human brain to follow it all. So clearly we're right back into that Into the Spider-Verse groove. Eventually they stop a helicopter from crashing on Shea, but then he still pulls his gun on Hailee like an ungrateful dick.
Whoops, better vamoose. Oh no, my web shooters are damaged. Crap, how can someone with a mere super strength, super agility, and lightning fast reflexes ever get away from a middle-aged dude with a gun?
Kicks up her mask.
Don't shoot. It's me, your daughter.
Regardless, freeze or I'll shoot.
Wow. These really are committed to being assholes, aren't they? Fuck this. I'm running away to join the Spider Circus.
She portals away with Oscar and Issa. Interior New York convenience store. In an entirely different universe, Spider-Shameik is on his way to an appointment with his guidance counselor when he SB's black and white supervillain Jason Schwartzman clumsily attempting to steal an ATM.
Spider-Shameik, you don't remember me, but you're responsible for my freakish full-body Rorschach appearance. You blew up that super collider and mutated me. Also, earlier in the movie, you beamed me with a bagel, which is a totally unrelated incident. But the internet is going to decide that the bagel is directly responsible for all of this because it's funnier that way.
An understandable conclusion. Bagels and multiverses famously do not mix well.
When the collider zapped me, I got blobs of black interdimensional rift stuff all over me, turning me into the black stuff-themed supervillain Schwartzman. Now I'm driven solely by a hunger for revenge against you for inadvertently ruining my life.
Ah, this is what happens when your universe doesn't have a Tony Stark to absorb this sort of shit.
Anyway, now I will unleash...
He slips on a cosmic banana peel.
Oopsie.
He accidentally opens a rift in a medieval blacksmith's forge and anvil lands on his head.
Yow!
He portals both feet into separate pots of superglue and gets stuck.
All right, look, I'm new at this, okay?
You had these powers for a year, dude.
He leaves Jason tied up with a kick me sign taped to his face and a dog urinating on him, which will surely not come back to bite him at all. Then goes to attend that guidance counselor interview with his parents, Brian Tyree Henry and Lauren Valez.
You want to go to Princeton? That's all the way over in Jersey. Are you sure they haven't opened any universities with prestigious physics programs in the lobby of our apartment building?
Come on, guys. I have to go to New Jersey. It's the only way I'll get a break from all these supervillains. When have you ever heard of a superpowered hero or villain setting foot in Jersey? We're ass deep in them. Hell, I literally bumped into a new one 5 minutes ago while trying to pick up a breakfast burrito. Speaking of which, I can see through this window he's got escaping. He's got to go. And by the way, it was a meat patty, not a breakfast burrito.
He heads out to fight Jason some more, but then Jason manages to accidentally disappear up his own ass, like he's the Venomverse or something. Heyo.
Oh, hey. Turns out my portals allow for interdimensional travel. You think that's something that I, a scientist who specializes in interdimensional travel, would have figured out by now? But, hey, being able to traverse the multiverse is really useful and lucrative ability. I could use my powers to become really famous, wealthy, and popular, thus unruining my life and then some. Or I could just use them to wreck Spider-Shameik's life because Iron Man logic.
Interior Shameik's room. Later, Shameik is lying on his bed, stressing out about that whole superheroism life balance thing that spider folk are traditionally shit at.
Dang it, I missed this party celebration, my dad's promotion, because crimes kept happening in my immediate vicinity. I only live in a world where some random shoplifters weren't worth actual superhero intervention.
Suddenly, a portal opens up in his room and Haliee spills out.
Shameik, long time no see. I thought I'd materialized directly into a teenage boy's bedroom, which any parent could tell was a major fucking gamble.
Haliee, how can you cross dimensions at will?
I'm part of Oscar's Spider-Man All-Stars crossover event, Team Now. There's a bunch of us who track the multiverse, sending dimensional anomalies back to their own universes. But no, you can't join, and do not ask me why. In fact, I probably shouldn't have mentioned the team in the first place. What team?
They go out on a spider date. At one point, they end up hanging under a ledge of a skyscraper, sometimes clearly not touching it with either their hands or their feet, which suggests that spider powers include an adhesive butt.
So, as you probably gathered from my creepily extensive sketchbook full of drawings of you, I like you, Haliee. Do you think sometime you and me could...
Hey, did I mention that after studying the multiverse, I now know that every Gwen Stacy who dates Spider-Man ends up getting fringed out of existence? So yeah.
Oof, that's a new kind of rejection. Not many girls could pull off, it's not you, it's the immutable will of fate.
Haliee leaves, but then Shameik follows her invisibly. Remember that power? The one he doesn't immediately use at the start of every fight for some reason? Yeah, that one. To Jason's house, which is now full of gaping holes, like it's the Venomverse or something. Haliee contacts Issa.
Jason scienced up some more black crap and used it to port out of the universe. I know I was supposed to be keeping an eye on him, but I thought I'd have it covered by planting a bug at his place.
You mean the one that had no means of contacting or alerting you, and whose only purpose is to show you a recording of how fucked we are?
Yeah, that useless fucking thing.
She uses her portal wristwatch to portal after Jason, and Shameik follows. Exterior, Mumbai. Haliee and Shameik arrive in the India/America mashup Mumbai, which is presumably on the opposite coast to Big Hero 6's San Francisco. There, they meet Karan Soni. Hi, you might recognize me as the Indian Spider-Man from the comics. Alternately, you might not, since I look nothing like Indian Spider-Man from the comics. For instance, he didn't have this amazing topiary sculpture of a haircut.
I can see why. That voluminous 80s style side sweeping thing should be a bigger identity giveaway than Tobey Maguire's squeaky voice.
Anyway, let me show you around our hybrid city, which is very Indian in a way that makes you wonder if it's just a shade stereotypical.
Yeah, maybe once we've caught Jason is currently on his way to give himself cosmic abomination powers. Remember, let's.
Yo, mates, I'm Daniel Wakabi Kaluuya, the punk Spider-Man. Fuck the establishment, ain't it?
For fuck's sake, guys, is it chasing really the best place to try and introduce a bunch of new characters?
Well, we would have waited for a scene which wasn't barreling ahead at a frantic rush, but this is a Spider-Verse movie, bruv. They only get like 3 of these apiece, and we've already used all of ours.
At any rate, check out how effortlessly cool I am, Shameik. Why more so than you? Doesn't that make you feel insecure?
Nah, mate. Check out how more effortlessly cool I am, which should get even more self-conscious about.
And none of this shit in the first movie. Are we gonna have literally every Spider-Man be more impressive than Miles Morales, except Peter Parker, I guess?
Of course, Miles Morales and Peter Parker are pathetic lame-o losers. The only Spider-Mans who are super niche, obscure ones that you probably never heard of. Oh shit, I think this Spider Society might be made up of comic snobs.
As Karan and Daniel bond over their shared hatred of the British government, they all chase down Jason to this universe's version of the Kingpin lab, where he's trying to use the super collider to zap himself full of all the black stuff. They web him and try to pull him out of the collider.
Nice try. But after a year of incompetence, I've now gotten enough finesse with my powers to sever your web with my mind.
You could also get the same effect by severing me and Karen and Daniel's heads if you really committed to the whole running Shameik's life thing. Ruining.
Fortunately, it's another 30 seconds before I get quite that dark. Literally.
He pours 1,000,000 tons of black stuff into himself and becomes a globby mass of black tendrils.
Look at me now, Shameik. At first you thought I was just a dorky annoyance, more like a thorn in your side than a legitimate threat. But now I'm covering myself with black goo and become many times more powerful, which is totally different than what Topher Grace did. Fuck off.
What's this? Visions of you what's this? Destroying visions of you destroying my hometown and killing my dad. Why the fuck would you be absorbing the dimensional rift energy cause me and only me to have a vision of the future?
Fuck if I know. Why did Haliee travel back in time in the first movie? Because sometimes stuff just happens because we want it to. Anyway, that's about it for me. See you in the third one.
He leaves the universe. The entire lab starts collapsing in on itself and destroying a nearby bridge. Spider-Karan and Spider-Shameik swoop in and save a bunch of people, including the chief inspector dad of Karen's love interest. But then a wormhole opens up nearby and starts eating the city. Issa ports in to help. You guys get out of here and regroup at headquarters. Me and my team will, I don't know, given what we later learn about this wormhole, write this universe a quick apology note and scram, I suppose. Spider-Shameik, Spider-Hailee, Spider-Karan, and Spider-Daniel all port out of there. Interior Spider HQ. The team arrive at the headquarters of the Spider Force, where there are so many Spider-Mans, so many, of so many different variations. There are like cats and horses and a car, which was presumably bitten by a radioactive spider with a Y.
That's right. To the people who said the first movie had too many Spider-Mans, we said, fuck you. Here's every Spider-Man who ever existed. And boy, do I hope we get them all. I mean, even if we only missed like Spider-Manchego from the Marvel cheeses, one shot that was only released as a promotional tie-in for Kraft Dinner in Canada in 1993 or whatever, some weirdo fan out there would never shut up about it.
We've also got a very ethically questionable museum of Spider-Man villains just sitting out in cages for folks to gawk at, including the live-action MCU Donald Prowler Glover, which means only animated characters glitch when in the wrong multiverse, I guess, but I thought What If was doing alternate stories of live-action characters because...
Just move on.
They take Shameik to meet Oscar.
Hey, Shameik. Welcome to our highly organized and regimented spider militia, where all spider entities conform to the system and follow an established chain of command.
Hey, conformity, mate. Smash the establishment!
Yeah. We find it completely unsuspicious that that guy is here and give him free access to the nerve center of our operation. I'm sure he won't steal our tech or let our prisoners loose or anything.
And look, I'm here too, finally.
Also me, for exactly one line. And no Nick Cage or John Mulaney. I guess we crammed in so many Spider-Mans that there was no room left for the ones the audience actually cares about.
Oh, but check it out. I got a baby now. A baby who's already manifesting spider powers. So I'm going to have to either isolate her completely from society until she's like 8, or accept that my secret identity is fucked.
Minutes? You have a kid who's at literal wall crawling age? But the last movie...
Took place a year ago, I know. The internet can do the math, and now everyone knows exactly how well that reunion went.
Anyway, Shameik, why don't you take a good look around the place? Meet as many of the Spider-Mans as you like. Hey, we could even send you on a few missions if you want. Would you like that? Stay a week? Fuck it.
What the hell are you doing?
I thought I'd try this crazy idea of not telling you the one piece of information that'll make you flip out and fight us all. Ah, the hell with it. It was worth a try. See, I know you want to go back to your universe to start Jason from murdering your dad. But what you don't realize is that the very physics of this multiverse is hopelessly metaphysics, if you will, and insists that all Spider-Mans go through a checklist of canon events. And any universe where a canon event doesn't happen dissolves into nothing. You've got your dead Uncle Ben moment, your dead Captain Stacy moment, other stuff I'm sure. That's why that wormhole opened up in Mumbai when you saved the Chief Inspector. And that's why you shouldn't save your police captain dad.
Well, hold up. Are you saying my entire universe just disintegrated? You do realize that would mean Shameik just accidentally killed billions of people?
Or was Issa able to keep that universe intact despite a canon event being disrupted? Because if that's something you guys can do, then there's really not really conflict.
Yeah, both of those options kind of suck for us. So how about let's not think about what happened in Mumbai ever again, okay? The point is, we don't save police captains around here.
Then how come you and Issa helped me save my police captain dad at the beginning of the movie?
That was... Maybe because the Vulture was an anomaly from a different universe. That wasn't how your dad was meant to die?
But Jason was in the wrong universe, and you say I wasn't supposed to stop his murders from happening. Also, in all the Spider-Mans you have here, you do realize decent of them never lost a police captain they were close to, right? And some of them clearly never will, like the literal dinosaur from prehistoric times, or Daniel fucked up police Kaluuya over here. And even ignoring all that, how can you believe that every Spider-Man has to follow the same script when you yourself were never even bitten by a radioactive spider?
Enough questions! Seize them, spider people!
Yes, I will indeed seize Miles Morales to stop him from saving his father, even though I personally know a Miles Morales who lost his dad and is grieving deeply about it. Yikes, good luck enjoying Spider-Man 2 when it comes out now that you know I'm apparently an asshole.
I will also participate in this awful thing. That's right, Spider-Man nerds. I'm Spectacular Spider-Man. All your favorite Spider-Man variants are here, and they're all colossal jerks. Aren't you happy?
A gigantic mass of all the most skilled and powerful spider beings from every medium from all time charge after Shameik, and he manages to outswing the whole damn lot of them because Sony Animation wants you to understand that the best Spider-Man is Sony Animation's own patented Spider-Man. Eventually, they're pursuing him up a high-speed train, which is going right up the side of a building, which, judging by how long this bit lasts, is apparently about 30 miles high.
Look, you idiot. You're not even supposed to be Spider-Man. Your radioactive spider came from a whole other universe. You weren't supposed to get bitten, and your Peter Parker wasn't supposed to die. The fact that there are a bunch of other Miles Moraleses out there from various media who got spider powers and took over from dead Peter Parker is just a weird coincidence.
Oh, come on. That just raises more questions. My whole existence is an anomaly. Shouldn't my universe already be dust by now? Also, if I'm not meant to be Spider-Man, why the hell does it matter if I do your stupid canon events or not?
I'll be honest. There's a non-trivial chance that my entire canon event theory is a pile of white-hot baloney, and that I had the other Spider-Mans only cling to it because it lends meaning to our personal tragedies. It kind of has to be, really, so the audience doesn't have to worry too hard that you're currently trying to go destroy all of reality.
Well, at any rate, this entire chase has been a diversion. I got all the spider creatures to come out after me and leaving your headquarters, and it's convenient to go back to your own universe machine unguarded.
Except for that machine's operator and all the Spider-Mans who visibly didn't bother to come chase you.
None of those people will prove effectual, fortunately. Bye-bye.
He turns invisible, then flees back to the teleporter room and teleports home. Oscar, having fucked up on every possible level, puts all the blame on Haliee and fires her. Interior, back in Haley's impressionistic color blob universe that sure saves a fuckload of time on having to draw backgrounds. Could we do the whole rest of the movie here? And yes, an animator wrote this scene heading. A dejected Haliee returns to her bedroom and curls up beneath her Protect Trans Kids poster. Since after all, it's not a proper Spider-Verse unless there's bigotry and prejudice for the spider hero to oppose.
Haliee? A belated apology on the whole trying to arrest you at gunpoint thing. For what it's worth, I quit my captaincy.
Wait, you're not captain anymore? This means my dead Captain Canon event has been erased, but not the universe along with it? So Oscar is full of shit after all?
I mean, somebody's gotta be police captain still, and given my job, it could easily be somebody that you know pretty well.
Nope, shut the fuck off. I'm gonna go to Shameik's universe and help him defeat Jason and save...
She sees the remaining runtime.
Oh,
Indeed, she goes to Shameik's house in his universe, and he's not there.
oh shit, he's in the wrong universe. The teleporter didn't send him home based on his own universe signature? But that of the spider that bit him? What a dumb way for that to work. I mean, there are Spider-Mans out there who never even got spider-bit. Hold tight, Shameik's parents. I'm gonna go round up a rebel spider gang to help Shameik out in the next movie.
Cool. Is there anything we should do in the meantime? Should we say leave town without any forwarding address for a while so that we're safe from certain supervillains?
Are you kidding? That's like our main conflict. Think, dude.
Interior Shameik's other apartment. Shameik shows up at not home and sees Alt Lauren.
Mom, I finally decided I should tell you I'm Spider-Man, and God help me, this is one of those hacky 1960s style comic book identity reveals, which doesn't count in some way as just a fake out they can use on the cover.
Who's Spider-Man? Oh, now let me just make a few glib domestic comments, including references to Comic-Con, which will seem totally bizarre when you step outside and find out this Spider-Man-free New York has basically devolved into a post-apocalyptic slum for Judge Dredd.
Shameik goes outside and finds that indeed the city is drowning in sirens and gunshots and is like 60% on fire. He is then seized and tied up by Mahershala Ali.
That's right. Bam! You're in the wrong universe. Also, kapow! I'm alive here. Plus, snap! Your dad isn't. And finally, Kerzwappa! In this universe, you're the Prowler. Now that's how you do cliffhangers.
Yep, the alternate use of violent supervillain, because nobody in comics has any inherent character traits or internal moral compass and can be straight heroic good or pure malevolent evil. And on the toss of the coin, did you know in Haley's universe, Matt Murdock is Kingpin? Get away from me with that shit. Oh, you think you have me, but I'm working up a venom strike to free me from my bonds and beat you up. Just give me a second. Working on it. If you could just give me until March 29th, 2024 or later.
And that is the abridged Spider-Verse. I'm sure we'll come back and do Beyond Spider-Verse whenever that one gets made. But hey, thank you so much for joining us for this one. And well, we'll see you next time.